Today on the bench we have this Ham International UK 120 channel AM and FM vintage CB radio that was bought as not working, so let's see what we can do with it and let's get started. So it come nicely packaged in this eBay box and wrapped up in some cling film as well. So on first inspection, looks like this radio's had a bit of a hard life, but then again it's probably 40 plus years old, so top could do with a little bit of attention, could do with a nice respray. Top was a little bit hard to get off, but the board kind of looks okay. One thing that does spring out to me though is this area down the bottom where it looks like it's been getting hot. So maybe we got a problem there. Also as well, over 80% of my viewers are not subscribed. Please go on, click that subscribe button, notification bell if you like this content. It will help me and help the channel a lot. Thank you. So let's have a look at the component side. And everything looks pretty good there. Antenna socket was a little bit loose. There's a look at the final output, a nice 1307. It's probably got a 1306 pre-drive. We can't just see that. And everything else looks pretty much untouched. Now there's that same coil with no slug in the centre that I saw in my Colt 444. So it must just be the way it is. Usual TA7205 AP output, audio output. So I plugged it into my power supply and it drew maximum current, and there we have a short across the leads. So that would explain the heated track on the back of the board, and we all know what that's going to be. The reverse polarity diode's gone. So it's located underneath this regulator and heatsink. So we'll just move it out of the way so we can get access to the diode. And there's no coils burnt, so that's good. So I think we've just got a blown diode. So I want to be extending the power lead anyway, so I've unsoldered them. With my desoldering gun, let's get that diode out. And there's our diode. Everything looks okay initially. Let's do a measurement across with the multimeter. Sure enough, short circuit. And under closer inspection we can see where the magic blue smoke has come out of this part. So that's definitely duff. So we're going to replace it with this BY133. So healthy amount of solder on that. We'll resolder that back up. And what we're going to do as well is we're going to run solder over that burnt trace just to strengthen it up. So the power lead is very short and unfused. So we're going to take that out. And we're going to replace it with a longer power lead, and from an old power lead that I had, I've fitted an inline fuse. Just the way it should be. So there's our wires soldered to the back of the radio. Now let's just do a test across the terminals, because before we had a short. Our short's gone. Switching on and off changes the reading, so I think we're good. And sure enough, it powers on now. Right, volume control's a bit scratchy, so that's going to have to be sorted out. Nothing that a bit of switch cleaner won't solve. And there's its iconic green and red lights for receive and transmit. So let's do a power test and frequency test. So low, mid and high band, getting 8 to 9 watts, perfectly acceptable. And it's a little bit high on frequency, so we'll adjust that. Get it as close as we can. See, high band's a bit low. And there's our low, mid and high power. So high power's just short of 10, mid power's 5, low power 0.5. So notice the channel change was a bit loose, and on removing that, the front fascia falls apart. Well, nothing a bit of B7000 won't cure. Gives me a chance to give it a good clean up as well. As you can see, it's a bit dirty under there, so I'm just doing some receive tests, transmitting from the other radio, and we are receiving, and looks like somebody broke the pull on and off, pull FM, and super glued it in place. Great. So there's our volume control out. So we're just going to squirt a nice bit of switch cleaner in there and give it a work. And that should solve our scratchy volume control. Let's give it a test. Sure enough, no more noise. Squelch control doesn't need doing, so we won't bother with that. And I've also switch cleaned the two front switches as well. So we're receiving good. Next thing, with a little bit of alcohol, we'll just remove the old glue from behind the front fascia. This glue just falls off with the aid of a bit of alcohol and a cloth. And in true microchips fashion, foam cleaner and a brush just to get into all those hard to get places, and we'll give it a good clean. Make it look as best as we can with a cotton bud just in those grooves. There, nice and clean. So now, following the original glue lines, we'll put some B7000. That should hold it in place nicely. And I've cleaned the front as well, got rid of some of the old glue. And there's our front fascia attached again. So that just should do quite nicely. So that's all our switches cleaned. Now let's do some frequency setup. So as you can see, high band's a bit low. And I couldn't just get it bang on frequency, so I had to move the reference oscillator. I think the crystals are getting a little bit tired in this radio. But there, we've got high band bang on. Now we have mid band. Just bring that down and get it aligned. So that's close enough. Now low band. I couldn't quite get this bang on. I think the low band crystal is definitely getting a bit tired. Maybe changing some capacitors would bring it, but it's close enough. So there's some Super Bowl AM. All receiving good, sounding good. Another classic radio saved. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this type of content. And we'll see you in the next video.